The waiver that I have up today is over our strength training webinar. This is only going to go for 3 weeks, and it started last week. We went over the deadlift, and it's just going over proper form and technique behind the 3 big lifts. So last week was deadlift, and Jenny Turner and Chris Lopez were the ones who demonstrated and taught on that one. And I believe these are like 15-30 minute little webinars, and this week is going to be the squat. I don't know who is doing that, but it changes every week. And then the following, and the next week we have bench press. So that's a Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. So hop on that. It's really good just as a review. Even if you know how to do all of it, it's always a good reminder. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'm going to pin myself, and then we'll get started. There's no equipment needed today. I'm going to put that in chat. And my only thing is you also do not have to do this. There is one exercise you might want to kick off your shoes for, but you don't have to do that if you're not comfortable with that either, or you're not in a space where you can. I'm going to go ahead and back up. Can y'all hear me okay? Angle my camera down so you can see my feet. You will need your chair, but we're going to start from a standing position. All right. So today we're just going to start hands up into the air. I want you to give a big reach. So your hands are here. Stretch it up. You're going to lift your rib cage and your shoulder blades. We're going to go high and hold. You can push your hands up if that helps you get that motion, and you're going to feel a nice stretch in your upper back. You really want to lengthen that spine. That's the goal. And take a nice deep breath. Pull that core in, tuck that pelvis. I have an anterior pelvic tilt, so my tendency is just to rock forward, but we don't want that. We really want a nice straight posture. Core engage, hip flexors not taking over. And we're just going to be here for a second, really raising through that breathing and letting your diaphragm push all of that up and stretch those muscles in your upper back. And always starting the day with stretching, because why not? All right, and then you can bring it down, and then we're going to push your arms back up into the air, grab your hands and pull to the side. We're going to now stretch the lateral aspect of your back right here. Again, keeping that pelvis not dumped back, not dumped forward, not dumped back. Your pelvis is like a bowl. So core engaged. Don't spill the water. Breathing deep to get that stretch in the lats. You can come back to center and pull over to the other side. Try not to lean forward or back when you do this. We're stretching our lat. We're not doing it back bend or forward bend. But if you're tight, sometimes the tendency is to pull forward. And then in about 8 seconds, we're going to drop it into a tricep stretch. So just leave it here for a second. More. Alrighty. All right, we're going to hands back, drop your hand to the center of your back and pull that over. We're stretching the triceps. Mine are tight. If you've done some upper body weight training recently, they might be a little tight for you. So we're just going to do that. Your shoulders might be burning a little bit from all the overhead stuff. Don't worry, we're almost done. Sorry. All right, you can swap sides. Again, hands center of the back, as far down as you can get it, and that's comfortable for you. Just hold here for a second. You also may need a wall, a chair, or your desk. One of the stretches we're going to be doing needs to be done on one of the 3, preferably a desk or a wall. So if you have access to a wall, you're going to use that in a minute. But for now, we're going to go over, cross, and we're going to stretch that shoulder. So you're going to cross one arm over your body, hook it with your other arm, and pull. You're going to feel a stretch in that posterior aspect of your shoulder. All right, and then swap sides. If you have a tight upper body, we're gonna feel this stretch a little bit more. Or again, if you've worked out or weight trained any of the upper body muscles recently. This might hurt a little bit, but in a good way. It's gonna be here for another minute. Not a whole minute, literally, just another second. All right. And then arms up, push your booty back. You're gonna push your hands along the front of your legs as far down as is comfortable to you. Really focus on pushing the booty back to not put stress on the low back, but to stretch those hamstrings and calf muscles. You're gonna come down, grab the back of your legs in any place other than the back of the knees, because then you're gonna bend forward. So you can do your thighs, you can do your ankles, you can do your calf, and just pull forward for a second. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let the blood flow the rest of your body to your head, focusing on deep breathing, just really relaxing into that stretch for a second. Slowly, slowly roll up. And then we're going to go into that posture stretch where you're going to need a wall. I'm going to use the door. You can do this on a desk by putting your elbows or your hands and sitting in your chair. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to the door, and I'm going to put my hands forward. Again, push that booty back, legs straight, feet about hip width apart. And I'm just going to relax into this position and hold. And it's a postural correction exercise that is going to take that upper body out of that hunched position that we are on our phones and our computers and our laptops. Hang that head eyes on the floor before you, because you want your spine to be in alignment. So we don't want to look at our back at our legs. We're just looking forward at the floor, but our head's also not up. All right, you can come up, and then we're going to go ahead and take a seat and move it into low body stretches. So back up so y'all can see my feet. I'm going to give you a little bit of a side view. I want you to pop your foot out in front of you. Pull your toes towards your shin. You're going to place your hand on your thigh. And you're going to press down, pulling those toes towards your shin. This is going to get a little bit of a stretch in that calf area. Just going to be here for a second. We're going to swap sides. So again, pulling toes toward your knee, pressing on that thigh. And really, it's important you pull your toes towards your knee, because if you don't, you're not stretching anything. So toes need to be up. And now we're going to do the opposite muscle of the calf, which is going to be the tibialis anterior. So take your chair. Hopefully you're about at a 90-degree angle. If not, go ahead and pop your chair down to that. And you're going to put your foot, it's kind of hard. This is the exercise that you might need to take your shoes off for. You're going to put your foot under, and you're going to point your toes. So you're your face up. And you're going to press into the floor. You're going to feel the stretch in that front, like shin area. You have muscles there. I don't until I learned about them in school, I didn't feel like anybody talked about stretching those muscles. But you're going to hold that there for a second. I'm going to do the other side. So again, knee at a 90-degree angle. It's kind of hard when you're in shoes. That's why I said to pop your shoes off. And if you have a rolling chair, make sure those rollers are pulled so it doesn't get in. All right, and now we are going to go into our piriformis stretch, which we have done before. I want you to pull your ankle up onto your knee and push that knee down. You're going to feel this stretch in your hip, probably like your glute to front hip. As you push that knee down, you're going to feel it kind of coming around in that side glute. This is a hip flexor muscle that stretches from the back of your lumbar spine front and wraps around into your and like connects to your quad. So it helps. It's one of the hip flexors. And it gets very tight when we sit a lot and can be overactive. That's why I have that anterior pelvic tilt, because my hip flexors are very overactive and tight, and so it can pull on that spine. It can also be one of your weak core. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that other leg up, and we're just gonna be here for a second. Press that down. This feels really good right now. If you're a runner, this is also probably tight from that. If you want to take it to another level, you can press your chest over your leg, or you can just hold it. We're just going to hold this for about 15 more seconds, and then that's all I got for y'all today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it for today. Thank y'all for joining Def Stretch. Hopefully I'll see y'all again, maybe for Step and Stretch. And I hope y'all have a great Monday and a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. Have a good